All right, so if you really go back and look and analyze media and some of the things many politicians have said, going back decades, um, they should be held responsible. When I say held responsible, I mean put in prison, charged with murder, inciting violence, um, charged with inciting violence, because a lot of crimes out there are are committed specifically because what some politicians and a lot of media outlets say. They twist things in a certain way, specifically to get a rise, to get division, to sow hatred, and then things happen as a result of that. Sometimes people get killed, and they're responsible. The biggest, um, easiest example of that is probably the Dallas shooting, where 5 cops were killed years back. And the reason why I say that is because the guy who did it, he was a young guy too. Um, Before they killed his ass, they cornered him and they asked him why he did it. And he said, because black people are getting hunted down and killed every day by police, which is 1,000 miles beyond true. It's so over exaggerated. But why did he believe that? He believed it so much that he thought, that's it, I'm a soldier, I gotta go, it's time to go to war. He believed it to his core. And he believed it because for most of his life, he's been hearing, excuse me, he's been hearing from media and guys like Al Sharpton and other, and politicians and whatnot, who race bait and who say all these stupid lies and twist things in a certain way to create racial division. Um, they've been saying this for decades, implying it. They don't say it necessarily. I mean, Al Sharpton will say it straight out, but media and most politicians, they'll imply it or infer it. Um, but people take it as that's the truth, especially when you hear it constantly for years. And so there's tens of millions of African Americans and uh, tens of millions of non-African Americans that believe this. They believe that the police are out to get black people and they're hunting them down and they're just trying to shoot them dead, beat them down, throw them in prison for not committing a crime simply because they're black. They believe it. Absolutely not true, but they believe it because they've been told this over and over and over and over and over. And it doesn't matter what statistics you show, they refuse to believe those. And so they are responsible. So Al Sharpton and others like him, many politicians, you can go through and sift out which ones, and then most of your legacy media, as they call it, they are responsible for those 5 officers' deaths. Um, the the people who run those media outlets, um, and basically everyone who spewed those lies, the so-called reporters, journalists, who never actually looked at, they just went with the lie, knowing that most of the time, I would imagine they knew it was a lie when they said it, and they had to figure out at some point down the road that it was a lie. Um, they should all go to jail. They should all go to jail for inciting violence, and in this case, it's a murder. So they should be charged with, I think it'd probably be second-degree murder or something along those lines, and they should be all given a life sentence for this. Countless murders, assaults, police cars burnt up, tipped over, thousands of police injured, shot at. Um, just so much violence, so much death and destruction, all based on lies. So something has to be done. Politicians are afraid of the media because the media can destroy you. You know, if you're not strong enough, like Trump, who's a rarity because he's not a politician, so he's not afraid of the media. All the rest of them, they're scared to death of the media, so they won't take any action against the media because they know the media will just turn against them and they'll crush them. But something has to be done. We can't go on like this. Police need to take care of themselves, or I don't know what has to happen, but we have to rein this in. Politicians need to be held accountable. I mean, an easy example too is like Chuck Schumer when he started screaming, openly, that we're coming to get you, Brett Kavanaugh. And, that's the worst he said. We're coming for you. And then hundreds of people did. And one guy brought a gun with the intention of killing him. And why did he do it? Why did they go specifically to Kavanaugh's residence? They went to one other person's, I can't remember who, but mostly it was Kavanaugh. Why only him? When it was four other or five other justices that voted for the Dobbs decision. Why him? Because Chuck Schumer called him out personally. So Schumer should have been held accountable for that. Now, nobody was physically hurt, but that's against the law to protest in front of a federal judge's house. So he should have been censured, and then he should have been kicked out of office, and some criminal charges should have been filed against him. Maybe not, because nobody got hurt, so it's not going to be too serious, but it needs to be done to send a message. Hey, you can't just sit here and spew. Maxine Waters did that. Talking about, getting in their face, make sure they're not, let them know they're not welcome. Just because they're in an opposition party. I mean, this has become like a third world country now. It's a full-blown dictatorship. It's a banana republic. We have to stop it. I'm racking my brain trying to figure out how to stop it, but I don't know, because every single governmental entity, especially for the federal government, except the Supreme Court, is thoroughly corrupt top to bottom. Absolutely, they're done. They are bought and paid for, hook, line, sinker. They are deep state. So, I don't. How do you stop it? I don't know. But it's not going to be. I mean, Trump couldn't stop it. He's not going to be able to stop it this time. I don't know. I'm here in Texas. I want us to secede and get out of this hell. And if that happens, and we can get most, if not all, the liberals out of the state, we would be fine. We'd be just fine. Anyway, that's for another video. All right.